our whole vision changes. That idea of our eyes being bad and thinking only about ourselves, that's our natural eyes. But just like the blind man being healed by Jesus, he changes our vision as well. How we see the whole world, what our perspective is, how we do it. Finally, he looks at this in one more light. No one can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Do not store up for yourself treasures on earth. Don't let the treasures be more important to you than how you serve others. Let your eyes be lights. Don't be so focused on money that you are going to be seen as a stingy person, that you're going to be seen as a bad person, and that you're not someone that people want to hang around because all they want is to step on. And then, no one can serve two masters. Is there going to be money or is there going to be God? One good perspective of this takes us back briefly to Corinthians, and that's in marriage. In the month before we got married, I told Jessica several times, you are my primary human responsibility. You are number one amongst people. That you are the first person I will think about and the last person that I think about, and everything else is going to be taken in that lens. You cannot serve two masters. I cannot have two primary human responsibilities. I can't fulfill everything that Jessica needs at the same time as even fulfilling everything that my child will need. She's first. The child will be next. And then it'll be the others. This idea of a man cannot have two masters, this was actually something that happened. Somebody would literally be a slave of two different people. Oftentimes it would be two brothers. And as a slave, you don't get any choices about what to do. The problem then is you're a slave to Bob and you're a slave to Fred. Bob wants you at his house at 3 o'clock and Fred wants you at his house at 3 o'clock. You can't do both. You have to choose. One of them is going to get the short end. One of them is not going to be your master. So what Jesus is asking is, who is your master? Who is it you're going to serve? How is it you're going to live? Today, we've got cases where people work 2 jobs. You can't get scheduled for both at the same time. One of them has to get priority. Which one is it going to be? People get jobs after school. People get jobs during school. You can't be at school and at work at the same time. You have to choose one or the other. You can't be at home and doing your hobby at the same time. You can't be out riding your motorcycle at the same time you're supposed to be home doing the dishes. One has to get the priority. Which one is it going to be? Number one priority. What is your number one priority? Everything else is given that lens, based in that priority. For us, when we confess Jesus Christ as Lord, He is our number one priority. Jessica is my number one human priority. But even before that, God is my priority. How I live that out is seen in how I love my wife, and how I give her priority, and how we live that out. And I don't always make the best priority decisions, mentioning the wrong foods at the wrong times, but I always try to do my best. Always try. Even when I mess up and run home and Jessica's still stuck at the mechanic and I have to go back for it. But number one priority, and God is our number one priority overall, over anything else. And sometimes when we make God our priority, it means we have to make tough decisions. About our work, about school, about money. What do we do with it? How do we live? What demonstrates that Jesus, that God, is our number one priority? How is it that we do this? Sometimes it means doing things that can get us in trouble. A Christian in a Muslim nation can get themselves killed. A Christian in this country can say, I need to be at church, and they'll get fired from a job. They will say, I have to share my faith, I can't help but do it, and have their job threatened. Technically can't get fired for it, but they'll have it threatened. How we live and how we put our priority. This is what Jesus was saying. Are you going to put, in that case, it's, are you going to put this money before me? Are you going to put this as a priority? This is what Jesus is saying. Are you going to put mammon or money, the worship of money is mammon, how are you going to put this before me, or am I going to be first? What are you going to do? How are you going to demonstrate this? This stuff, it's going to be gone just like you. When you go and where people have gone into the tombs in Egypt filled with all the gold, it was still there, but where were the people? They weren't able to enjoy it. Nobody was able to enjoy it for a long, long time. It just sat there. It just sat there. How do we serve God? This is what Jesus is asking. How do we serve? How do we live? What's our priority? It's not that we don't do our jobs well. We do. It's not that we enjoy our hobbies well. We do. In families, it's not that I'll just have a wife, I'll have a wife and a child. And the wife's still not our whole priority. And then my child. We demonstrate our love for each other, and in that way, we care for our child. Just as we love God, that's mirrored in how we love each other as well. It trickles down. It's a demonstration of love. But God loves us so much, and we love Him so much, that we will care for people that don't even know us. And sometimes people who have darkness in their eyes, and who want to take advantage of this. Our goal then is to simply do our best, to step back. Say, I'll pray for you, brother. I'll pray for you, sister. But you know I can't give you money. I know what you're going to do with it. But I love you, and I want you to know the love that God has for you as well. I want you to know that grace that He has given me, that I can put Him number one in everything. And that's a joy that we should be able to have, and we should be able to share. That we can put God in front of everything else, and that we know that He'll take care of us in all of our needs. And that even when we mess up, the good news is that He is God.